Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my spiritual GPS. This is your host, Vivian S. de Guzman, your human MRI and the #1 money magnet activator. So remember, this show is about God's positioning system. And oftentimes we find ourselves in difficult situations, especially now. It's still the pandemic. There's still some things going on in the world. And we're not just talking in our household, in our neighborhood, in our backyard, but also globally. And I don't know if you felt this, but last week was very interesting because even I was feeling the heaviness of the energy around us. It's like it's in the ethers, right? And so I had to respond to what my body was telling me and had to rest. A lot of sleep, a lot of naps, a lot of rest, a lot of calming down because it almost feels like there's war going on above our heads. Like that's the feeling I was getting. And so I decided to actually share this topic with you, which is called Transform Chaos into Creativity, right? So there are ways wherein we can actually address chaos, right? But for the topic of chaos, what are the primary sources of chaos? Let's start with the question, right? Where is this coming from? So we know that chaos can come from our mind because we're thinking, right? We're thinking of thoughts that cause us to feel irritated, or it's like overwhelmed and things are going on and it seems like we don't have a hold of anything. We don't have a handle on things. So chaos can come from the mind. It can also come from our relationships. So that could be our relationship with ourself, right? In other words, if you're thinking one way, like your logical mind, the left side of your brain is thinking one way, but then you're feeling another way, not truly relating to what your left brain is telling you, that can cause chaos. And that also shows up not just in our head, in our mind, but in our bodies as well. So obviously, if it's not connected to higher guidance, spirit, or divine source, and it's you're gonna feel something, right? You're gonna feel a sort of a division. So that can show up as like a numbness on one side of our body or one body part. It could be feeling like you're separated in half. And the other thing is obviously emotions, because if you're thinking one way, it's almost like if your liver is upset about something, but then your kidney is stressed out about something else and it's not agreeing with the other organs, that can definitely cause chaos in the body. Okay? So when I ask the question, what are the primary sources of chaos, right? Chaos is from the mind, the relationship, and your emotions. So the question now is, how do you actually convert chaos into different forms of creativity? Because remember, we're creators. Like we create anything and everything in our lives, right? So we have that power. We have a choice when it comes to this. So the first thing, like for me, I'm going to share my tools. For me, it's really when I wake up in the morning and I feel chaotic in my head and in my body, the first thing I do is take deep breaths, a lot of deep breathing. So when you deep breathe, the question is, how do you do it? Do you need your quiet time for yourself? I usually go outside the house and I walk around nature. That feels very good for me. It allows my body and my cells to be at peace. So then you have to choose the location. If let's say your bedroom doesn't feel calm and peaceful to you, then you have to find a different position or a different way. It could be some people music, right? Like they turn on their music, and then that makes them feel more peaceful. So the question here is, observe yourself, right? When you have a day. So I think of a day as a lifetime. I wake up in the morning, and all of us, right? If we have arms and legs, we have some form of a job or a business to tend to, we have some things to do. Obviously, to do something, we need some energy. So if we are about to do something for the day, you don't have to, it's a choice, right? From the beginning of the day to the end of the day, would you rather have some form of a flow, like synchronicities? It's almost like you pray to God, you ask God for help, and then suddenly here comes the answer. I like those kinds of mornings, right? I like those kinds of days. So I have noticed that if I actually start my day with a form of a meditation that I feel calm, then I can transform whatever chaos, right? Because the demands towards you in life may be different every single day. It's almost like from 0 to 10. Some days it's like 3/10, but some days you feel like you're at 9/10, right? It's like your boss wants you to do something, your children want you to do something, your husband wants you to do something, your business wants you to like create a program of some sort. So some days are like that. But remember, you are in control of your day. You're the one that said yes to all these things. So pay attention to what you're saying yes to. So I'm a generator in human design, so I have to wait to respond. Literally, in the past, okay, those of you who are generators and manifesting generators, you're probably, by virtue of conditioning, even the projectors, sometimes they do this, they just say yes to everything. And then they feel bad about saying no to anybody because they're so used to the habit of saying yes, but they forgot to say yes to themselves, right? They forgot to say yes to their dreams. They forgot to really say yes to what lights them up. So as a generator, I make sure now that when I say yes, I'm 100% certain that I love, like I'm looking forward to that thing that I said yes to. And if it's not 100% yes, a lot of times I have to wait because I'm emotional authority. I have to wait for the correct response in my body to say 100% yes before I actually say yes to something or someone. And if it doesn't work out, let's say the day rolled by or the week rolled by and it's really like, it's a no, of course, courtesy, right? Text the person or call the person, write a letter or whatever form of communication you have to actually bring that into like just an agreement or a communication way of saying, okay, I'm sorry, but I'm not feeling very well today, so I'm going to have to cancel, right? Courtesy. Communication is really a form of courtesy. So your chaotic life, sometimes the universe brings you all of that to give you a, it's like you face the moment. It's kind of like phasing Jesus moment, right? I call it that. Because until, for some of us, until we're really, really overwhelmed and we can't fit in anything, or perhaps we've lost certain deals, we've lost certain relationships, sometimes that's the only time we actually confront ourselves and the ways and the habits we do things, right? So sometimes chaos is really a form of um, a way for you to confront your lifestyle and change for the better. Okay. So obviously you can transform chaos into something creative. You can also delegate, right? So if you notice yourself doing everything, in other words, to the point that your children, they probably are not doing anything, and then you get upset, frustrated, or irritated because you're doing everything and you're exhausted. That may not be the best solution, right, for you. Therefore, you're going to have to start changing the agreements you made with your children so that they would know the new reality, right? So the new set of standards that you would like to like share with them. Now, obviously, if we're dealing with small children, we may have to be patient and have a few repetitions in order for them to know that that is your new reality. So I noticed this for a lot of the mothers out there because we're so nice, we're so kind, and they just give everything to us until we're really like up to our head, right? Above our head, and we're like, done, I'm done with this. So please don't wait until you become super sick, that then you're the one receiving the care until you ask for help. So if everybody can just be quiet, keep calm, I would like to share with you some tools that I use when I'm really feeling overwhelmed, all over the place, and chaotic. So remember, from chaos to creativity, a lot of times we need space, we need pause. So this is one way for you ladies out there, even men. This particular technique is super, super, super effective in just bringing all your energies back to you and grounding yourself and being in your center so that you can actually switch from chaos to creativity. So let's do this by taking 3 deep breaths. You can breathe longer if you would like to do that. But if you put your index finger above your upper lip and your other palm on your belly button, so everybody close your eyes, because we know that the eyes, right, that's the window to our soul. And if you're a very visual person, if you start to see things and that already irritates you, then you know that that's how your brain interprets the stimulus. So close your eyes and breathe in deeply through your nose. And then put the tip of your tongue at the roof of your mouth and then release. So in the beginning, you want to breathe out through your mouth. Okay, so we breathe in through our nose. We're really bringing the oxygen in the back of our spine to the top of our head. And then we're bringing the carbon dioxide all the way down our pubic bone. So let's do it again. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, so now for some of you, that may not be enough. Okay, for some of you, you need to feel your body in order for you to feel better. So for those of you who want to do a ragdoll pose, so you kind of put your arms like crossed like so, and then you hang your head heavy, and then you're going to breathe in again through the back of your spine, and then you exhale all the way down to the front of your spine through the pubic bone. So we breathe in blue, we breathe out blue. Breathe in blue, breathe out blue. One more time, breathe in blue and breathe out blue. And you're going to ask me why blue, because the kidney represents the water element. And so when you're like in front of the beach, you can even visualize yourself in front of the beach and just breathing in and out, right? Now, for those of you who do yoga, child's pose is a good way to just balance the body right and left and top and bottom. And you're just breathing in and out. Again, try to breathe the blue and blue again, because that settles your kidneys. Okay, so when kidney is the home base for stress and worry and anxiety and fear, I would suggest for those of you watching, if your life is very hectic, if your life is chaotic, maybe not outward, but you can probably see it if you have a lot of clutter in your environment. That itself, because it has an energy, right? It'll give you this sense of, I got to do something, I got to do something. So clutter does that to you because it's external, but it somehow represents certain things in your body, in your life. So if you feel like maybe you're not the one that's cluttering, but then your partner is the one that has a lot of stuff and they can't let that go. If you're always triggered in your environment, unfortunately, it is very difficult for your body to heal. I'll say that again. If you are triggered by the clutter in your life, it is very difficult for your body to heal. And so I somehow, I mean, I admire people that have clutter in their lives and then they're still functioning because you've learned to pretty much accommodate, right? And adapt to that environment. But you'll notice that if you actually start organizing your home, a lot better, that you have a better flow. So let's say your partner doesn't like to declutter, or they don't want to give things away, right? Maybe create a home for every single item to really help you release that chaos, not just inside of you, but outside your energy field, which is your home, where you sleep, where you spend most time in, right? And if again that doesn't work, then that just means you need some form of a professional help to help you with that, because clutter is just a reflection of your own internal clutter, so to speak, that you're not willing to let that go so that you can have the life that is actually flowing. Okay. Sometimes hard to swallow that, right? But at the same time, now that we've added, right, the external of chaos in our lives, you notice if you have clutter in your home and then you have chaos outside of your home, it almost feels like you don't feel safe anywhere you go. So that's why a lot of people right now have a heightened sense of like panic, anxiety, and stress. And it seems like I'm getting a lot of clients lately that one little thing triggers them, right? Before it takes a while. But now, not only they probably don't do self-care, but then outside of them, maybe that's not a norm, right? And then society itself right now is so chaotic that it brings so much challenge in every single person's life. So the best remedy right now is to really breathe, find even like a short few minutes. It could be 5 minutes every single day for 30 days so that you can establish the habit of what is that silence she was talking about? What is that inner peace? What is that satisfaction? You really don't understand what I'm saying until you practice it. Really, that's what this is, right? So let's say I remember when I was establishing a habit, I could not go back to my exercise, my regular exercise, because I left it for several years. But then I realized that I needed to do it again. So I couldn't commit to 30 minutes. So I can tell you guys, I started with 5 minutes. And the only thing I committed to was breathing, deep breathing in and out of my nose for 5 minutes every day for 30 days. And within the sixth and seventh day, because it was a weekend, I started having a almost like a battle in my mind, because I promised myself, okay, that's part of your integrity to yourself, by the way, if you want to increase integrity to yourself, because once you have integrity to your words and your thoughts and your actions, what happens is that just expands exponentially. Okay, so for those of you that have a business, so let's say you said something but then the other person doesn't quite respond the way you expected them to respond, right? Most likely there are some integrity issues within you that you need to actually pay attention to, right? So that 5 minutes of exercise, I remember when I started this, I got lazy on a Saturday and Sunday, but I said to myself, but Vivian, you promised that you were going to do it, right? So so then that's how I realized, and I even added the rule, because remember, I created the rule for myself. I said, okay, breathing is an exercise. So I started doing deep breathing for 5 minutes on the days that I don't like to physically move my body. And guess what? After 30 days, because I was able to complete, that was a hump, right? In my promise to myself, part of integrity exercise. So to transform myself from chaos to create something different in my life, right? To change my results. That's how I started. And since I completed the 30 days, of course, it progressed to, oh, now I want to do Qigong. Now I want to do yoga. Now I want to do walking outside in nature. So then eventually I got back to my exercise routine. It's different than when I was younger. However, the integrity was established, right? So when you trust yourself, I can tell you this, when you trust yourself, your clients that you're attracting will also trust you because you completely believe in who you are, what you do, and what you share in your community. So the secret really involves a lot of little tweaks in your life, right? So Shifra said here, Gary Douglas, I believe, says, live in the chaos. We grow in the chaos. I never really understand this. Maybe it keeps you aware and we grow, right? So, I mean, right now, Shifra, if you look at life, everything is chaotic, right? Like not just probably within you, but outside of you. And if you're aligned right now because you've done a lot of work, amazing, congratulations. However, you also feel, because we don't live in a vacuum and we don't live alone in the universe, you feel people's sorrow and grief and suffering. You do. Like for those of you who are energy healers, you feel that. I know I feel it. And if you're very empathic, and that's, yes, that's a check. And if you, unfortunately, if your energetic boundaries are very permeable, meaning you don't know how to say no at times to certain things, right? When you know who you are completely, you can say yes and no with ease. Literally, you can say yes and no with ease. And it's not like you're not compassionate with other people. It's just more that you know it's not your issue, yet at the same time, you can share, right? You can help one way or the other by staying safe, like, and secure and in integrity with who you are, right? Because if you are that strong and aligned, now you can help other people with whatever they're going through, because then you become the beacon of light for them, right? So from chaos to creativity, usually, like I said, there's a space. So if you allow yourself to have space, you're ahead of the game. Okay. So try to practice those 3 exercises this way, right? And then you're hanging your head or you're doing a downward facing. Oh, I'm sorry. Like a child's pose, just a child's pose, not a downward facing dog pose. Those would help you a lot, right? So if you find yourself feeling chaotic all throughout the day, find an exercise or a position that actually helps you get to that place of alignment, right? Yeah, so Shifra said she doesn't feel chaos personally, but yes, as an empath, she does feel others. Yes, definitely. This whole week or last week actually has been interesting. That's why I had to sleep a lot and recharge. And obviously, after recharging, the emergency showed up later, right? Like people needed help. And the great news there is because I was able to relax and rest and rejuvenate, then I'm able to actually help those that are in need at this time when the need has arisen, right? So that is my recommendation for today. And what I would love to share with you is I know we have a few programs running, right, for really being aligned as you are. Now, I remember last week I shared with you that we have a program coming up tonight, Tuesday. It's called Clarify Your Money Magnet Position. So for those of you, let's say you're a healer, but then you don't know what am I going to offer? How am I going to charge for this? Who are the clients that I'm going to be sharing this with? You have to be okay with your definition of who you want to invite in your space. And the other thing that people are afraid to talk about is how much am I going to charge for the program that I will offer these people, right? If you have an issue with the price, your price, what's going to happen is everybody will also take a look at your copy and have an issue with anything that you're offering because you yourself, you're projecting that. It's kind of like this is a TV show, right? It's like me announcing here and I'm not quite certain about what I'm saying. You're going to feel that. For those of you who are empathic, you just feel it. You can feel confidence and you can also feel fear. And you can also sense whether I'm lying to you or not. That is what the pandemic has given us, has gifted us actually. Instead of you hiding behind anything now, you can't do that. It is very transparent. It's either you like the person or you don't like the person. They know it, they feel it. So you have to be honest with yourself who you want to work with, right? So if people, let's say, are confused and you're clear, well, that's great. They're always going to look for you for some clarity. That's the way it works, right? Because if you've overcome a challenge, then you become a mentor. You can help these people up. Like if they're down, you got to reach out, right, with your hand through your offers and then bring them up. So for those of you who's interested in joining me tonight, because we're going to start at 5 o'clock, please go to viviandeguzman.com/clarify money magnet. Okay, so that will be the link, and I'm going to post it below. And we're going to do this on Tuesday. And then for those of you that would like to really dig deeper into your own business, like your own healing business, on Thursday, we have a Q&A, okay? And some of the coaches that I have in my team are going to be there. So my marketing coach, my finance coach are going to be there. And our business operations manager and coach, you can actually set up an appointment with her, okay, for whatever works for both your schedule, okay? So again, I want to thank you all today for joining me from chaos, right? And you're basically going to be clear when you yourself have decided. By the way, everything starts with a decision. If you haven't decided yet to really own a business, right? To really be who you are, like to be known for what your gifts and talents are, it's going to be chaotic for you. So instead of choosing that, would you rather choose chaos, or would you rather choose the confidence and the clarity to move forward with what you're doing in life? Because at this time, a lot of people need our help. So for those of you healers in the closet, it's time for you to come out. It is time to come out. All right. So I want to thank you all for being here with me today. And definitely I will send the link to our Facebook group, okay, Human MRI. And again, thank you so much. And I will see you again next Tuesday, same time, 12 o'clock, My Spiritual GPS. Bye for now.